Good evening, collective. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. If I sound a little hoarse, it's my allergies. But I'm Eccentric RockStar'Seed. I have another intuitive message for you today. Keep in mind, take what resonates, leave what does not. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I promised you I would have little artifacts about history to bring you up to speed for most, or for some, and also to this is a channel of progress. So if you're somebody who likes to stay stagnant, you probably won't like these readings. So take what resonates, leave what does not. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You see this? My degree finally came into the mail, and I'm super proud of it. But here's what's comical about it, is they put the wrong major on there. I don't know how they did that, but they put the wrong major on there. It says baking and pastry. It's supposed to be holistics and nutrition, but that's okay. A little minor oversight. The point is, that's an accomplishment. So as I was shuffling your cards, minding my own business, I'm gonna use one card from here for now. Maybe use a different tarot deck for later. But you have the Great Severing. That's that Mars energy. And you have, you are not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. So anger, conflict, softening to love, overcoming difficult emotions about being different or being separated from the world that you know, to create a new one. Now I hear Aladdin, a whole new world. Remember when she was on the magic carpet with him and he was like, don't you dare close your eyes, something like that. Nine of Cups, that's what it's all about. Happiness, the mood for today. Nine of Cups. I want this to last forever. I want this is my forever mood. What's on the bottom is justifying, is further amplifying, is the Queen of Pentacles, the matriarch. You may be the matriarch of your family. Now, talking about the Great Severing is about, that's a shadow card. You might feel confrontational, but it's nothing to be afraid of for the most part. Because when we're hurt, it's normal to close off our heart to the world, to let the painful experience confirm the agony of separation, while you're here on earth. So to soften and find your way back to love anyway through all of that is a very random act of bravery, or conscious, I want to say conscious act of bravery. So when fear and anxiety and paranoia try to paralyze you, collective, is normal to want to hide away from others in the world. So you're supposed to come out of your cave. You're supposed to soften your heart regardless. And remember that we're all innocent children navigating or spinning our way around the world. So to find a way to see the innocence in everyone, including yourself. That could be, this really speaks to people who wronged you, okay? Who made you feel like you didn't belong. And then you have, you're not for everyone. So you want to face your north. So when I see that, is don't accidentally become a people pleaser, trying to show people your value. The world is filled with people who, no matter what you do, they just don't want to care about you. But it's also filled with people who will be very fierce and passionate for you, in support of you. And they are your people, and you're not for everyone, and that's perfectly fine. Talk to the people who can hear you. Don't try to convince people to walk alongside of you, or you'll be wasting both your time and theirs, and will likely inflict unnecessary wounds. But when you see that card, it just means you're supposed to be embracing what's unique about you, and to own anything that people may deem as weird against you, and to let the world see who you are, to reveal your multifaceted nature, your multidimensional nature. Not to dim your light according to who's in your presence, to own all parts of yourself, so that people, the ones who are in the same kind of weird as you, can recognize you when you cross paths. I feel like your whole circle will consist of other superstars, because that's what they deal with every day. Their own unique style, like your favorite artists, think of them. They were that same person who had to face their weirdness and soften to anger because not everyone probably didn't rock with them at first, or wanted to find fault in their creativity, or just trying to find a way to put them down. And speaking of which, the artifact for today is John Wilkes Booth. If you know who that person is, he is the person who assassinated Abe Lincoln. And Abe Lincoln was the first president to be assassinated from the United States presidency. You know what I mean? So John Wilkes Booth was born May 10th, 1838, and he died April 26, 1865. He was very young, but he was an American stage actor who assassinated the United States President Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. on April 14th, 1865. A member of the prominent 19th century Booth theatrical family from Maryland, he was a noted actor who was also a Confederate sympathizer. Denouncing President Lincoln, he lamented the then recent abolition of slavery in the United States. Now, originally, Booth and his small group of conspirators had plotted to kidnap Lincoln to aid the Confederate cause. They later decided to murder him, as well as Vice President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William H. Seward. Although the Army of Northern Virginia, commanded by General Robert E. Lee, had surrendered to the Union Army 4 days earlier, Booth believed that the American Civil War remained unsolved or unresolved because the Army of Tennessee of General Joseph E. Johnston continued fighting. Booth shot President Lincoln once in the back of the head. Lincoln's death the next morning completed Booth's piece to the plot. Are you following me so far? Seward, severely wounded, recovered, where Vice President Johnson was never attacked. Booth fled on horseback to southern Maryland. 12 days later, at the farm in rural northern Virginia, he was tracked down, sheltered in a barn. Booth's companion, David Harold, surrendered, but Booth maintained a standoff. After the authorities set the barn ablaze, Union soldier Boston Corbett fatally shot him in the neck. Paralyzed, he died a few hours later. Of the 8 conspirators later convicted, 4 were soon hanged. So this Booth guy was making history for himself because he just did not want to. He didn't like that Abraham Lincoln was all about the Emancipation Proclamation. He was born in Bel Air, Maryland. He died in Port Royal, Virginia. People have a nerve. Just because they don't like you, they feel like they should off you or get rid of you in some way. But they show you Abe Lincoln, our 16th president, he was making major waves because he began the Republican Party. So that was like what the Nation of Islam did in the 1950s. I think that's about the time the Nation of Islam started making their waves, and it caused massive controversy. So the Republican Party was doing the same thing because it was only the Democratic Party. It was the dominant party at that time, was the only party at that time. And then came the Republican Party. Now, there are other parties too. It's just these two are the predominant ones, the Republican, Democratic one. So Abraham Lincoln, born February 12th, 1809, died April 15th, 1865, was the 16th president of the United States, serving from 1861 until his assassination in 1865. He led the United States through the American Civil War, defending the nation as a constitutional union, defeating the Confederacy, playing a major role in the abolition of slavery, expanding the power of the federal government, and modernizing the U.S. economy. Now, Lincoln was born into poverty in a log cabin in Kentucky and was raised in the frontier, mainly in Indiana. He was self-educated and became a lawyer, a Whig Party leader, Illinois state legislator, and U.S. representative from Illinois. In 1849, he returned to his successful law practice in Springfield, Illinois. In 1854, angered by the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which opened the territories to slavery, he re-entered politics. He soon became a leader of the new Republican Party. He reached a national audience in 1858 Senate campaign debates against Stephen A. Douglas. Lincoln ran for president in 1860, sweeping the North to gain a victory. Pro-slavery elements in the South viewed his election as a threat to slavery, and Southern states began seceding from the nation. They formed the Confederate States of America, which began seizing federal military bases in the South a little over 1 month after Lincoln assumed the presidency. Confederate forces attacked Fort Sumter, a U.S. fort in South Carolina. Following the bombardment, Lincoln mobilized forces to suppress the rebellion and restore the Union. Lincoln, a modern Republican, had to navigate a contentious array of factions with friends and opponents from both the Democratic and Republican Party. His allies, the War Democrats and the Radical Republicans, demanded harsh treatment of the Southern Confederates. He managed the factions by exploiting their mutual enmity, carefully distributing political patronage, and by appealing to the American people. Anti-war Democrats, called Copperheads, despised Lincoln, and some irreconcilable pro-Confederate elements went so far as to plot his assassination. His Gettysburg Address became one of the most famous speeches in American history. Lincoln closely supervised the strategy and tactics in a war effort, including the selection of generals and implementing a naval blockage of the South's trade. He suspended habeas corpus in Maryland and elsewhere, and he averted war with Britain by defusing the Trent Affair. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Do you want me to refresh your memory about the Emancipation Proclamation? Was a presidential proclamation, an executive order issued by the United States President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, during the American Civil War. That's a whole nother conversation. We can talk more about that, which declared the slaves in the states in the rebellion to be free. It also directed the Army and Navy to recognize and maintain the freedom of said persons and to receive them into the armed service of the United States. Lincoln pressured the border states to outlaw slavery, and he promoted the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which abolished slavery. That's the 13th Amendment, guys. Except as punishment for a crime. Lincoln managed his own successful re-election campaign. He sought to heal the war-torn nation through the reconciliation. On April 14, 1865, just 5 days after the Confederate surrender at Appomattox. That's a county in Virginia. Okay, the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse, fought in Appomattox County, Virginia, on the morning of April 9th, 1865, was one of the last and ultimately one of the most consequential battles of the American Civil War from 1861 to 65. He was attended to play at 4 theaters in Washington, D.C. with his wife Mary when he was fatally shot by Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth. Lincoln is remembered as a martyr and a national hero for his wartime leadership. So he was a wartime concierge, guys, and for his efforts to preserve the Union and abolish slavery. He is often ranked in both popular and scholarly polls as the greatest president in American history. Let's keep going. Because of his uniqueness, he was like so much, you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Hold on, let me clear my throat. All right. I don't know, my voice is scratchy just a little bit, but bear with me. So you got someone who is outraged by your uniqueness, because you embrace your uniqueness. To bring all this full circle, that adds into my point. And you have someone who tried to take you out just for being different, just for doing things differently instead of being afraid of change. You're not afraid of change. You are somebody who's not afraid to test the waters. In fact, you don't dip your foot in it. You swan dive into it, into the unknown, into the depths of the unknown is how I feel like saying it. So when I see this Queen of Pentacles and this Nine of Cups, you have some honor. You have honor. You have respect. You have prestige for all that you do. So on one hand, you got a group of people that's very thankful for you, and then there's the other party. You see what I'm saying? that hate you, and they just honestly hitting somebody in the back of their head is an act of cowardice. It says that in the Holy Scripture. You're supposed to, if you're gonna go man to man or toe to toe with somebody, it should be face to face, not to their back, because it doesn't give them a chance to defend themselves. So he was watching a play. Abraham Lincoln was watching a play when the person walked behind him and hit him in the back of his head, for best choice of words, because he hated that he was anti-slavery. But he was a wartime consigliere. That's what I like. Somebody who's not afraid to get their elbows dirty to get the job done. Somebody who's logical, thinks, quick on their feet, clear, concise, and just fearless. Muse of comedy. These are the arrogants that like to laugh at you for being different, but you laugh at them because they're all the same. You could have pitched your idea and someone took you as a joke. Muse of astrology. It's the way you articulate yourself. That's very intelligent, to be able to know science. To know science is to know math. To learn astrology is about looking at the different planets and the different energies they carry. That's scientific studies. Prove that. You being the matriarch is well earned, well respected. I feel like you're well respected, even if people wanted to make jokes about anything that you do that's different. And muse of dance. I see hatred. This message has a stench of hatred to it, because you're talking about the people who don't like what you stand for. And then you have the muse of history. I like this card. I feel like this is your nature. This is you who's multifaceted. You love to make people laugh. Josephine Baker is on this muse of dance card. You see that? She loved to. She was very silly and theatrical in how she danced and entertained. She entertained the people, but how can I say it? She ended up moving to Paris because she didn't like the way she was being treated. As for people over in the United States, when they want to make it big, they don't always sometimes they have to go to Europe to blow up first and then come back to the United States. And that could be something you could be considering for work. So maybe you're considering a work visa or a potential migration to a different continent, because you want to be seen and you want to be heard. You don't want to be underground your whole career. The blue flame, spontaneous awakening activation. You might be driven to set up in a different space to get your point across. Lost lands. You're meant to go on some type of, I say adventure, but it's really a journey. Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. You might know. It's like the more you travel out to different spaces, the more connected you are with your ancestry or who you know yourself to be. Even if you shied away or distance yourself from what's passionate for you, what you deem as passionate, what you deem as happiness. Because for the most part, sometimes some people go into like the corporate industry and put they're multifaceted and put their nature on the shelf, put their true talents on the shelf. Why did I say it like that? I have no idea. They put their true self on the shelf because they don't feel like it will earn them the financial security. But I think you're different. I think you got your elbows dirty, meaning you went through all the tough times, the blood, sweat, and tears, the very financial tighter, like the inflation, like the poverty side of things. Like you saw all of that. You saw yourself through a lot of that. You and your family survived a lot of things that people would typically shy away from or just deem as immature for wanting to set yourself up to be the matriarch of the family. So needless to say, there's not too many people like you. I haven't read this one in a long time. The Blue Flames. Many people glamorize an awakened process. However, in reality, it's much messier and more difficult than most of us believe. We must first let go of what we think we know for sure and how we make sense of the world. This isn't easy. The awakened process, even when it's spontaneous, takes a considerable amount of time to integrate. And awaken without integration can leave us feeling very ungrounded. If you're in the midst of an awakening, the process never ends. Like, treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. A lot of it is some stuff you already know. You know, some think that the lost lands exist in the past, but other believes they exist today in a different dimension. I believe these ancient lands also exist in the souls of those who experience them. So usually when you see like the card, the lost lands, you see that? You know, perhaps the wisdom of lost lands, such as surrender. Surrender is the word to the intelligence of your soul. That's the point. You can unlock the seeds of these ancient lands so we can learn all of our mistakes and usher in a new age. I don't fully understand that one yet. For what the message entails. Some of it, but not all of it. I see I got a million ways to get it with this deck of cards. With the muse of astrology, the muse of dance, muse of history, muse of comedy. This could be the 4 horsemen, where you all specialize in different things, very unique things. So we shall see. Let's see, let me shuffle these cards. Okay, you have Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. So God is watching you while you navigate through life. You try to figure out how to redirect, how to be the right kind of leader for yourself first, to be the leader for other people. Okay, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. I said that. That's twice now. There's an integration. So whatever you've been disconnected from is being integrated. The more you travel, like the more you step, I see footsteps, bare feet stepping in like soil, like in a park or like land where there's like dirt and trees, and like if you're in a land where there's a lot of trees or some kind of like nature park or nature space. I see the more you step out on soil, like walk through soil, step on foreign lands, you start to it reconnects you, it regrounds you, and something about refertilization, something like that. But it grounds you, it reconnects you with who you are and what you're supposed to be doing. The initiation, rite of passage, my throat itch, crossing the threshold. This is giving me root chakra energy. And there's also, you have to stop holding grudges. The sever, the great severing, soften to love. There's something about somebody who you may overreact when you get upset, or just poured so much emotion to the point where you're drained at this point. Say, I said something about holding grudges, and now you got Burning bowl ritual. Don't hold grudges. Write down everything that anyone has ever done. I told you, root chakra. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitive. You hear that train? Connect with nature. Just take the hatred out of your heart. Somebody has been battling quite a bit of hatred in their chest, and it's time to let it go. Making food. Some of you could do that professionally and or just personally, just love to cook, or just need to eat healthier. Mirror who or what is triggering you. I'm not sure if it's a conversation, but it could just be life happening around you. And you're starting to see things with a different set of eyes, with a clear, more precise set of lenses. What it really means. Make a vision board. I feel like not too many people practice enough intelligence to know how to stop the problem. They just go with the flow. And I feel like you're one of those people who get angry at the idea of sitting still and just standing by, letting things happen as they are, or letting things be as they are. And I feel like you want to make you're being led to make your contributions to uplift humanity. So that could be a lot of things. Stop violence, whether black on black, black on white, Hispanic, whoever it is. Everybody's life has value to it because they have one, because God made them to be. Okay? And this doesn't like give sickos who are like perverts or abusers of any kind, women, children, or other men, a pass. It doesn't give them a pass at all. It doesn't give them the rights, but it doesn't give them a pass neither. What I'm saying is, to uplift humanity is to stop normalizing these things or just standing by. It's like not saying anything or just not embracing, not praying enough. Prayer goes a very long way. People don't realize that. It does. Let me see. Arab, I have indeed wronged my soul. Please forgive me. Swear number 28. That's either 16 or 18. It's someone who they want to do better. Somebody just had like one of those having a spiritual awakening is uplifting humanity within itself. How is that? Because you show up different. You can't change the world, so you change yourself. What else? I need a different tarot deck. Nothing's ever really new. I hear that. Like same old, same old. It's either these or these. Which one? This one or this one? Let's go with this one. 6 of Wands in reverse is humiliation. That's public humiliation. That could be embarrassment. That is a non-victory. 3 of Wands in reverse. Impatient, short fuse. Impulsive. 9 of Wands in the upright. Okay. Fighting. Someone's too hasty to jump out there without all the facts. This is opinion-based energy between these 3 cards alone. This could speak to your opponent. Page of Wands in the upright. Communication. Someone's pages could be children, but up to the age 25. Someone who puts themselves out there impulsively or naively, without the facts. They just go with their raw emotion. They go with passion. Temperance, imbalance, not healed. Six of Cups. Something ended. Reminiscence, nostalgic, thinking back, wishing things would be different. Four of Swords in reverse. Someone has an inability of letting something go. Someone is hanging in there for their life. The last fight, like the good fight. And Eight of Swords. Someone is determined to carry out a certain mission by speaking pessimistically to instill fear. The same way someone plotted on you, they're being plotted on now. And they can't tell who it is. They just know it's a rat in the group. And they have no peace. They're honestly, this is narcissistic energy with this Nine of Wands in the upright and the Page of Wands is in the upright. That's arrogant and paranoid. Manic, extreme highs, extreme lows. Three of Wands in reverse in the upright is patience and virtuous adventure. Someone's stuck. And because if it's in reverse, they have no patience. They're not waiting, they're just jumping out there without the proper tools. It's like coming to class unprepared. Coming to geometry class with home economic tools that they don't serve a purpose. And there's public shame and embarrassment with the Six of Wands. Not only that, the Temperance is a lack of healing and imbalance. The Six of Cups is, I feel like their essence was ruined as children. It's something they can't undo or don't think that they can undo because it's something that happened to them for so long ago, and it's like it's something that they feel like can't be erased. This happened to me when I was a kid. Now I'm too old. I'm too old at this point. Someone who makes a lot of excuses. I'm too old, too far gone. Someone doesn't see themselves in the correct lenses. So what is, it can go back to the card I said, who or what is triggering you? Who's trying to talk you out of you? Lovers flipped out and is in reverse. That's inauthentic. So this is speaking to someone who's been disconnected from their ethereal side of their talents, extraordinary talents. That element has to be put back into everything that you do to be successful. And the Queen of Swords is in reverse. This could be somebody's cruel bitch mother, or someone who's insecure, deeply insecure, immature, a liar, a thief, and a cheat. Someone who's abusive. I said narcissistic. This Queen of Swords is in reverse, and so is this Lovers. Someone needs to take a closer look in the mirror as to who they are and what they've become, and why, start peeling back the layers as to why they become like that. And I feel like it's somebody who is a triggering for this person, this insecure person, because they're not grounded. So there's two energies here. One is highly empathic, you know, the great severing, Mars, anger, conflict, softening to love. This is somebody who, or it's just two different sides to a person, who you can know yourself to be a certain way, but because there's past hurt in the mix, because you got a Queen of Pentacles in the upright and a Queen of Swords in reverse. So you could have made an honest living for yourself, but could not have dealt with issues from the past. And now you're having this spiritual awakening because things has this way of rising to the surface. And now you're made to deal with them because they're on the surface. This is somebody who's verbally abusive too. This Queen of Swords in reverse. It says Queen of Voice. but she's in the reverse. So she's in her shadow side. She's on her darker side of the darker side of things. So this could be a rival, because we started with these two cards. The great severing and not for everyone. You might have had to sever ties. This Queen of Pentacles had to sever ties with this Queen of Swords in reverse, because this Queen of Pentacles is not for everyone. They are a rebel without a cause. They want to speak their voice. And then you have this Queen of Swords right next to the Lovers in reverse. The Lovers in reverse is South Node energy, karmic energy, inauthentic, fake and phony type of thing. And someone needs to write down, somebody needs to do that burning bowl ritual. Just burn everything, everybody who crossed you in some small way or a big way. Start forgiving them. I just feel like this Queen of Pentacles has better etiquettes than this Queen of Swords in reverse. That's why they're able to get further along. And this Queen of Swords is highly jealous. But I also see the Queen being someone who's old enough to know better, but have been harboring ill feelings or a rift in their chest, or just having that grudge in their heart for a very, very long time. Like, they're very mature in how long they've been feeling disdain. So you're getting a spiritual upgrade, and someone else feels like they've been left behind, they've been cast out, or they don't feel like they're as important standing up to you because you might have a broader platform, and they feel like they're lost. They just don't feel like they belong. It's like it's ironic at the end of the day, because this could have been the same person in with a group of others who were coerced, and they cooperated with a group of people against this Queen of Pentacles. And now this Queen of Pentacles brings her visions to reality. See it with this vision board? She could have prayed, cried, and just overcame the situation, and she overcomes her issues gracefully. Where this Queen of Swords in reverse is a special kind of nasty. Just a very nasty person, not a good person. And actually a dictator, not a teacher. So I see two different energies here. Okay, we need to close this out. What is the advice for the Queen of Swords in reverse? The Hierophant is in reverse. Some people are just made to be on a bigger platform. And this Queen of Swords could have tried to compete with this Queen of Pentacles, and that's just not their forte, to be on a broader platform with their message. What's on the bottom? High Priestess. They could have started out in the same boat, and then the Queen of Pentacles end up surpassing, because they're not the ones that struggles through transition. They're not stuck in transition. And that's an intuition, a very heightened intuition with the High Priestess. But this is somebody who knows a lot and doesn't speak on it. I feel like this Queen of Pentacles irritates this Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles clarifies the Queen of Pentacles. So you have an opportunity. Or this organization is this crooked government. This is a helper of somebody who's like an evil leader, an evil spiritual leader. They got it all wrong when it came to this Queen of Pentacles, because this Queen of Pentacles turned out to be the matriarch. And this Ace of Pentacles is a chance to have done it the right way, and they didn't. And the Page of Swords is in reverse. So that's somebody who's like know-it-all, watching. They're trying to tell you your business better than you can tell you your business. But they missed the window. Somehow they missed the boat, or that ship had sailed, or the ship crashed and burned. I heard that. The third one is the charm. It crashed and burned. These could be people who had those like witchy energy with the priestess, even though it's not in reverse, but it came out to clarify the Hierophant in reverse. So it could be witchy vibes, or just trying to take something from your character and insert it in themselves in a way, like it's a part of their character, and it didn't help this organization at all. So they have to like blindly watch you to try to imitate you, but it's something that they can't figure it out. They can't figure it out because it's authentically you. Alright. Now I feel like they're so far gone. It's like with the Six of Cups here and the Temperance in reverse, like they're so far gone, they're in balance. I don't want to say permanent because I'm not God, but they're likely to be more imbalanced for a very long time because they try to steal from this Queen of Pentacles. But because the Queen of Pentacles gets grounded in their essay, they stay grounded because they're very sensitive to the energies around them. So they ground themselves. They take that accountability. And now this person is reminiscing for what? I don't know. Were they reminiscing of the days where they had more free will? That's what I heard in my mind's eye. They don't have the same free will, or they feel they're like they're entangled in something, or in this organization they're entangled where they don't feel like they could just walk away. They feel like they're trapped. Anyway, that was the initiation to get inside of this crooked organization. They thought they could sacrifice you. So they don't get to cross that threshold. That's what they thought was, you see how they're going through darkness to get to the vibrancy? And that's what the Page of Wands represents to me too. Vibrancy, a different direction, communication. But to me, like for now, in this message, this is a new sense of direction and vibrancy. You know, they thought they was going to get their big break, or they thought that you would be the golden parachute. But you have ascended higher than what they remember you as. You're not on the same frequency, so it doesn't appeal to you. It doesn't affect you. Whatever's being done to attack you. And you have help with the Council of Light. So this is somebody's public humiliation, how it backfired. The same way they tried to humiliate you is what's happening to them. And the irony is happening to them. They're walking around in shame and insecurity, fear and worry, and mental anguish. A lot of mental anguish. If you put that Queen of Swords in reverse with this Nine of Wands, they drove themselves crazy trying to master you, trying to get on top of you, and it backfired because you always had help. You always had support. And your pursuit of happiness is about peace, you know, love, you know, all the right stuff, all the strong characteristic traits. Now you're with your loved ones. This is family orientation. If you look at the pictures, you have your own organization, or you have your own religious group. You have a different study group, or you come from a different study group. It's like trying to attack a librarian with a lack of knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense at all. This is a librarian. That's what they do, is read books all day. Not all day, but you get what I'm saying. They're very intelligent. To be a librarian, you know a lot. You know a lot of different things, a lot of literature. Literature is your baby, is your second nature. And without the knowledge, you're pretty much ignorant. You know, you don't have enough. You can't go but so far without the knowledge. So that ties everything together, and I hope that this message helps somebody. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.